Hey guys, welcome to Blaugrana United. Welcome to another video, and today Antoine Griezmann has officially become a new Blaugrana player, and this video is going to be a more, happy, optimistic, kind of excited for the signing of Antoine Griezmann to Barcelona, because although I'm not completely towards the idea of having Griezmann at Barcelona, I'll admit that he's an absolutely fantastic player and that we could work with him, and if he wants to work hard and be part of the club and do things the way that he needs to succeed at Barcelona, then I'm all for it, for us to give it another chance and work towards the goal of being a successful club and winning a lot of titles, as I'm sure that he wants to at this point of his career. Antoine Griezmann joins Barcelona for a fee of around 120 million euros. He becomes Barcelona's joint second most expensive player, behind Philippe Coutinho and alongside Ousmane Dembele. He's always been in his career a second striker, a second forward that supports a big target man. In his time at Atletico Madrid, he's had partners like Mandzukic, like Torres, like Diego Costa, now Alvaro Morata. Previously in the national team, he was working a lot with Olivier Giroud, where in my opinion he's shown the most in his performances. And Griezmann is a very good player. Obviously, I've never said that Neymar, Griezmann, Dembele, Coutinho are not great players. They're all absolutely fantastic players. I just think that we don't need that many of them to be successful. But regardless of that, I think that Griezmann would suit Barcelona a lot. I think that he has the technique definitely and skills to be one of the best players in a roster and definitely compete in all fronts for Champions League, La Ligas and Copa del Rey. We will try to be dominant in all competitions, and I'm hopeful that with Griezmann coming in, a few other things can be set off and we can improve in the later seasons. To start with, I think that I'm going to start by saying, where does Griezmann fit at Barcelona? Because we already have a sort of defined trident in Messi, Suarez and Dembele that ideally should be our front three, but with Griezmann coming in, we need to make some adjustments for it. So Griezmann, he can play in multiple positions and in multiple roles. Obviously, you think that Luis Suarez has slowed down, that he's not the same Luis Suarez that we all used to know and love from 2014, 2015, 2016, but he's still a very good player, but obviously he needs rest. He cannot play that many minutes because then he's playing with injuries half of the season, and I don't think that's beneficial for him, for the team, or overall for Barcelonism itself. I think that other players should be given a chance. If he's not filling up for it, if he's not as fit as he can be, there is other options, and that's why Griezmann, Dembele and Messi would make this front line, with Griezmann as the number 9, Dembele off the left and Messi off the right. Now, do I think this is the best formation for Griezmann? Not really. I think this is the best formation for Griezmann if we are playing a lower La Liga side where we're going to be given a lot of possession and we're going to be countered a lot less, because the thing is that Griezmann in his career has not really been fruitful enough to play as a 9, as a lone striker with Messi and Dembele floating around him. I think that is not really the best formation for Antoine Griezmann, leaving all that pressing work, because it's just not his game. It's not part of what Griezmann is. Now we could go into another formation and play the 4-3-3 with Griezmann off the left, Suarez to the middle and Messi off the right. But I think that is much more the Griezmann role, to float around Suarez, to Messi comes inside and Griezmann and Suarez are attacking the space, are working together and working fine. I think that that'll be good. I think that they could fit something like that. I just think that again we're gonna have the problems when we are playing Coutinho, Messi and Suarez, where our team is very narrow in attack. We don't have any depth in the wings, and I think that if all our depth comes from Jordi Alba mostly, and sometimes Semedo and Sergio Roberto, we just are losing a lot. We're playing through too narrow, and no one, like, we're getting pressed by teams that will not dare to press us if we had threats going forward that were absolutely fast and they can attack the space in the wings very well. That's what I think, that even though this is a formation that we could go for and it will suit Griezmann, his playstyle a lot more, I still think that that's not the best formation for Barcelona. Now, the best formation for Barcelona, in my opinion, is with Messi aging, with Messi he needs to be more well taken care of, because he's not the Messi of 25, 26-year-old. He needs to press a lot less and just save all his stamina for the running of dribbling through defenders and towards them, to gravitate to that central area that he used to play as a false nine under Pep Guardiola, where that was the best Lionel Messi that we've ever seen. I think that with Griezmann off the left and Dembele off the right, that's a much more balanced forward line. Griezmann and Messi are gonna, link up much more between each other. They're gonna be gravitating toward each other, and you have Dembele that it's also good. He's becoming better in that link-up play sense, but also Ousmane Dembele is a threat going forward. Like, if you press us high up the pitch and you leave us a yard of space and you lose the ball, you know that Dembele is right there on the back of the defenders to hit the space and go on a counter. And if you're giving that many meters of space, he will catch you and he will destroy you. Now, this is what I would do probably. Like, let's put a quick team together. We can have Ter Stegen in net with the likes of Semedo, Piqué, Lenglet, Jordi Alba, and then Busquets, Artur, and De Jong, with the forward line of Griezmann on the left, Dembele on the right, and Messi through the middle. That is much more like what I would think our starting lineup is going to be next season, and I think that that's fine. I think we can perfectly win all titles with, Suarez rotating a lot. We're going to have four main forwards, because I'm assuming that Coutinho's gone, Malcolm is gone, and then if you need just backups in those roles, you maybe have Rafinha if we don't sell them. You have Aleñá, you have Abel Ruiz, you have Carles Perez, you have all these players that I'm sure are capacitated enough to play in those forward areas. Even Sergio Roberto, if he needs to play there, he's perfectly proven to play there, and he can do a job in that position if need be. So I just want to say that those four forwards are going to be, I think, more than enough. And if we have injuries, we have players to cover injuries. Not as glamorous and maybe not as good, but players that if they're going to play in that position just 2 to 5 games a season, we can manage. We don't need to buy another superstar forward to cover for 5 or 10 games of the season. We have more than enough to cover for that. I think that Antoine Griezmann will give Ousmane Dembele a lot more confidence going forward if he stays. If Dembele stays, I think that Griezmann would add to his play a lot more, because we can all see that Messi and Suarez just have a thing of not passing him the ball or not giving the best passes that they can, that I'm sure that they can, because they're some of the best players in the world. Well, Messi is the best player in the world, and Suarez is not very far off, but for some reason, passes to Dembele is always that they're passing the ball to Dembele, to Malcolm, to Deulofeu, to Tello, to all these players. Those passes just seem to go too far, to go too much back. Like, they're not great passes as we know that they can do. I don't remember exactly what game this was, but it was a glamorous thing where it was a pass like 5 minutes before this. Dembele was given a pass by Suarez, and it was a much easier pass, and Suarez just missed the pass to Dembele by a milestone. Like, it was horrendous, that pass, and I thought it wasn't particularly difficult for Suarez. And then 5 minutes later, Arturo Vidal on the same play, Suarez in basically the same play but a little bit harder, goes with the outside of his foot, delivers a majestic pass to Vidal, and then Vidal just passes it off to Messi for a goal. I don't remember exactly what game this was, but I remember the play exactly, and in my opinion, that was just a clamorous thing where Suarez just decided to give a bad ball to Dembele, because, if Dembele succeeds, then Coutinho, and because they want Coutinho to play, someone has to to be playing worse, and if Dembele has to be playing worse, then they're going to give him bad passes. But with Griezmann, I don't think this would happen because, you know, they're French, they play together in the national team, they seem to have a good relationship, similar to something like what I said to Mbappe. Like, if we're going to bring in forwards that suit our needs, and if you're going to bring in Griezmann, that would help Dembele establish himself in the first team, to have a partner going forward that is not going to be having these weird attitudes towards him. I think that this would be very beneficial for Ousmane Dembele, and I think that if we could eventually transition Suarez out of the team, this would be very beneficial for us, because we will be almost in the whole complete rebuild process of Barcelona. Now, a quick insight here, and that's the only thing I don't like, and I'm not trying to make this a negative video by any means, and it's not, trust me, it's not going to become a negative video, but also the news that Juventus and Ajax have agreed a deal over Matthijs de Ligt, and because they already agreed personal terms a few weeks ago, it seems all but confirmed that Matthijs de Ligt will become a Juventus player over the weekend. And I think that it's time to, you know, think why Matthijs de Ligt hasn't joined Barcelona. That Matthijs de Ligt isn't joining Barcelona, it tells me that it's because we don't have the funds, because we want to buy Neymar. That is what I think. That's what it seems to me, that we are trying to buy Neymar, and that we are not able to sign Matthijs de Ligt. But why would we sign Neymar? We sign Griezmann, we're going to get rid of Malcolm or Coutinho. We're going to have 4 superstar forwards. We're going to have enough to cover us if we need to. I'm not saying that we need to. If they stay fit all season, we're not going to need to. But we're not buying Matthijs de Ligt and we have a center back problem, because right now you might think we have enough center backs. You know, we have Piqué, we have Lenglet, we have Umtiti, then we have Todibo, and you might think, hey, those are 4 amazing center backs right there. And yes, it is true, we have 4 amazing center backs, but one is Piqué, who is 32, and another one has knee injuries, Umtiti, and the other one is just a youngster that just arrived in Todibo. So we really don't have the depth that I would like, and if I could transition, if we could say Todibo on loan, that would be great. If we would have bring in Matthijs de Ligt, that would have been, you know, it wouldn't be an overbooking in center defense, because I think if all players are willing to follow the coach's instructions, they could all play a lot of minutes and be happy with their minutes. And not turning back to Griezmann, this just means that Antoine Griezmann, it's, you know, it's not, I don't think the summer's over by any stretch of the imagination. The young Griezmann will not be our only signing this summer. We have other options going forward. I think that Antoine Griezmann it's not the end, and I will make a follow-up video on my opinions on the Griezmann signing and why we signed him. And if another signing like Neymar gets to come along, I will make, you know, I'll be hesitant to think that could work. But for the time being, just with Griezmann, Dembele, Messi and Suarez, which is what I'm accounting for right now, I think that Griezmann is an absolutely fantastic player, and that I'm hoping that, you know, he can, you know, have a very humble attitude towards the fans, because he's going to have a rough time around. And I think as fans, we need to not forget of what he did with the La Decisión, but we should be very supportive of the player, because at the end of the day, he's a Barcelona player, and if he succeeds, that means that the club is succeeding, and we all want the club to succeed at the highest level possible. So with all that said and done, leave me your comments in the comment section below. Comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, Blaugranas.